So what's happening, you beautiful people? Thanks for joining us for another episode of the DOD45 Show. Adrian and I are currently in Samoa, so we're going to give you a rewind episode. It's a rewind episode with Cas One. But before we roll tape on the rewind episode, Cas One stops in and has a chat with us about his new upcoming album.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen. DOD45.
This is the DOD45 Show, drawing over discussions 45 minutes with a special guest. Welcome. I'm your host and resident artist, Tai of ArtByTai, and with my co-host, Adrian Taiwali'i, we're having conversations with people who I admire and am inspired by. On this episode, I'll set a 45-minute timer, put my pen to the paper, and we'll learn about our guest through an interview-style discussion. So stay right here with us to experience some laughs and maybe even learn a thing or two. DOD45. Greetings, humans. Welcome to another episode of DOD45. Today's episode is going to be a rewind episode for our an episode that goes way back to the man, Cas One. But before we do that, he's going to stop in and we're going to talk about a few things. Adrian, how are you?
I am just looking up, but I think we just got a tornado
Warning?
watch. But maybe it's not.
I saw that there was a thunderstorm threat.
Oh, it just says threat. Since when do we get tornado threats?
Oh, does it say
This is
that?
like a
Tornado
new
threat or
thing.
thunderstorm threat?
This is some new thing to get me to click on the app.
Ugh. Is anyone else just about over the friggin' weather? Jeez, give me a break.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Everything's...
Yes.
Every time I get in here, everything's moved.
So while you're listening or watching this, well, Adrian, while the people are listening and watching this, you and I are currently in Samoa.
Yeah. I couldn't sleep last night. I woke up. I told you this, but I'll just re-say it.
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother you like it bothers me.
No.
I woke up panicking over the centipedes. So I was like, oh crap, if we're all gonna sleep in the house on the living room floor, that entails not couches or mattresses, but probably mats, which is basically a yoga mat made out of leaves, right?
Right.
And then there's these centipedes that get up. Do they get up to a foot long?
They get pretty big.
Just 6 inches.
But you know what? There's not snakes. There's not spiders. There's nothing else really poisonous in Samoa other than those centipedes.
So I'm already in the process of making bug spray for the insane mosquitoes up there in the jungle. So then I started researching, well, what do centipedes hate that I can add to this spray? And so anyway.
I knew that because while I was in bed, I could see you were on your phone.
Yeah,
and
that
it
was
must
like
have been like 3 in the morning. Yeah,
and I just could not fall back asleep.
Just
I was
put it away
panicked.
and go to bed.
I couldn't. I had to solve that problem. But anyway,
But you figured it out?
I'm making it. Yeah, they tea tree oil kills them. There's some other things that
these centipedes are gnarly too.
Clove, which I don't have, is also a good one. But
don't we have grow clove up there at the house?
Well, I mean, you need a strong essential
okay.
oil, like a broken down.
Okay.
Anyway, so yes,
It'll be
hopefully, I was reading like, okay, so if we get bit by one, what do you do? And they're like, oh, it hurts, it burns.
Yeah, my mom got bit quite a while ago, and it like left a hole in her leg like a volcano.
So there are some severe reactions, and I think she had a severe reaction, but I guess the amount of pain is unbelievable just from the bite. So, but there's not much you can do. You just need to keep it.
You just don't want to get bit by them.
It doesn't get infected. Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this question. Are you petty? At all?
Maybe. Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah. I think I am tired of my cell phone. I get these texts from people And I don't know if they're trying to push my buttons, but they like set it up. And I'm like, why would you text that? I kind of want to go back to a landline and an answering machine. Because no one would ever just call me and say these things that just set me up for a day of anxiety. Like, I really can't say.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just like, why would you text me that and then just leave me hanging? And there's nothing that I can, there's no way that I can respond to it in a, like, I just don't know if it's like,
and
if it's leaning towards one thing or another, or if it's just a statement.
Does that make you, is that petty?
Maybe, because I just can't hack it. It drives me nuts all day long. It's in my head and I'm worrying about something that someone said, and I don't know. I guess that's probably petty.
Well, I mean, maybe it is petty. I'm not that petty, but sometimes I am. Yeah, since you can't say, but I think I'm hip to what you're saying. There on our runs in our Utah place, every morning when I go for a run.
I always think of diarrhea when you say your runs.
Oh, sorry. When I'm on my, what is it? How do I not sound?
It's fine. It just makes me laugh when I go for a run.
When I go for my run, not anymore, but there was this down by this park area, there was a lawn sign in this person's yard, and this is how petty I was. I don't know why, but every morning when I'd run down that way, I'd spit on the sign.
Why would you do that?
I'm petty.
What do you mean? Like a politics sign?
It was a specific person, yeah.
Well, there were like people over here in Missouri. I remember when it was Clinton, and who was running against Hillary Clinton? Was it Trump?
I think Trump, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was 2016. They were going around like kicking in the signs, and like I was just this was when I was on Facebook quite a bit, and you just heard that someone came and someone burnt my Hillary Clinton.
Well, no one would have saw my, but I don't know, like, you know, when you're running, you sometimes spit. I just happened to spit right at that. Every time would just be right at that time, spit right on that sign.
Yeah, that's pretty petty.
It's petty, huh?
Yeah, I have never done anything about these texts except live in a perpetual state of anxiety until I can shake it.
I was going to tell a story about the time when a car crashed into the recording studio, my friend's recording studio. Our whole album was in there from my band Bucket Tooth. We had just finished recording the album, and like that night or the night after, a car like jumped, like some drunk idiot jumped over the curb and like crashed through the recording studio, and all our tapes, because this was back when we recorded on tapes, on reel to reel, they were just soaked in water because when he crashed through the wall, he hit a water line and over like the whole night. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Toby's studio, and it was like and then we had our album release, and like that was what the news, you know, the media wanted to cover. That was part of the story. Like our album got destroyed. We had to re-record a whole bunch of it. Yeah, that was a disaster.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think I have some pictures of the next morning. Yeah, Toby called me. Toby's the guy that ran the studio. And he's like, dude, I got bad news.
Even worse for him.
Yeah, his whole studio. Like, the car literally went through a center block wall into the studio. Just it was crazy. Hey, I'm going to do a quote share. I'll try to do those. I don't know. This is a quote share specifically from last night. I don't know why. I wrote it down. Here's the quote. Pee without a lead on. I don't know why that's funny.
The dog.
Yeah. That's the quote, pee without a lead on, Natasha the neighbor. I got a couple of song shares real quick before Cas One comes in. Do you want to hear them? This first song is 11 by Serengeti and Polyphonic off of the Don't Give Up album. This is just a cool song. Play us a little bit of that, Adrian.
You wish that it feels like fall. You wish that it feels like optimistic in the start. We're gonna make it happen when it ends. And the sun and the birds are singing. And my brain is humming and we're not saying nothing yet. The dust is a real drag. The basement is so sad. It seems that what we had should have been more glad. The dream of the move back, the dust in the time lapse, the dark of the mismatch, the feeling that we're trapped after the innocence and living remembrance. The dream during late nights, the still of the...
That's a cool song. And then here's my other song. It's Mushrooms and Roses by Janelle Monáe. It's off the Arch Android album. This is a cool song too. It's real kind of funky. Maybe go into the middle of it. That's a cool song. Yeah, I really like that song. Okay, that's my songs. You said you had one?
Yeah, one that I've been listening to that's been coming on pretty frequently that I really have liked is one by Wax Taylor. And it's funny that we were just talking about Dell, but it also happens to have him and Mr. Liff in it, called Everybody.
Do you want to play it?
Sure, here.
Mission fixated and fixed in 6 minutes. That's the business that's bound beyond physics. Capture glimpses, the glow is no limits. Sew up the sector, snatch up the treasure chest, split it up, and this is what perfection is. Get a grip.
It's not just me, yes.
It's not just you, it's.
So the amount of people not feeling shit like this is like. It's not just me, yes.
It's not just you, it's.
So the amount of people not feeling shit like this is like.
Yeah, that is a real cool song.
Do you know that one?
I do.
Yeah. That's
Excuse me, sorry.
I haven't listened to that whole Wax Taylor album, but it's pretty new, 2021.
Okay, so Cas One's going to be in with us real quickly just to talk about his new album before we go into the rewind episode of his episode of the first time he visited us. But I do, he's got a new album coming out. I guess he'll tell us about that. But while you wait for that, check out his album from 2013. It's called The Monster and the Wishing Well. It's a solid album, and the track Strut Bounce is sort of, that's a track on the album.
Yeah. Watch around the city streets, politic with creeps. Small schemes to pipe dreams have made of me. And I'm just a normal guy trying to make them all smile. Analyze the profiles and give it, take it pounds now. I move through crowds with my head held down, cause I don't know what the fuck they even talking about. Art heads party with the bummy hip hop dreads. Gay and les shake hands, we more kids. Coffee talk over biz with indie rock fans. And we all mention this motherfucking circus in. Make it did, same shit, building on the pavement. Cause if it don't make...
It's sort of how I feel the whole vibe of the album is. That song sort of represents kind of how I feel the whole album is. And I was thinking while I was listening to it, it's like a mall chillin' kind of album, but it's kind of got some sadness in it. Or the other thing I thought gave me vibes of like a brand new dad lying around on the couch with the baby asleep in his arms. And I just say that because I just remember like those summer days in Utah when Nale was first born, and I'd fall asleep on the couch with her asleep. It's got that, and you just be playing music. That's what this album kind of, that album kind of has that vibe. The Monster and the Wishing Well. And then be sure to check out one of my favorite albums from Cas One right here. It's Cas One versus Figure, DJ Figure. It's a really, really, really good album. It's called So Our Egos Don't Kill Us. This was released on the Strange Famous label, and it's, like I said, it's him and Figure, and it's a fierce album. It's kind of grimy. It's really in your face. I listen to it a lot during my workouts. It's a really, 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 really solid album. It's got features including Sage Francis on the song Time Bomb.
There's a secret room in this house that we reserve just for ways out of lion's den. I don't hide my head in no snake's mouth. I pull the fangs out. In an emergency, take a safe route, then blink out during the surgery. Surgeon general's warning me, telling signals and caution signs, setting off bells and whistles when I cross the line. Now it's a regular discotheque. No insurance keeps my medical shit low tech. I pay the boatload of taxes, in fact, more than my fair share. This shit will save before I benefit from Medicare. Gonna donate blood you squeeze from every penny saved. Either my eyes are going or I've seen better days. Now Eddie Vedder plays on the mixtape she made me.
It's got featured Del the Funky Homo Sapien on the song Lone Wolves.
Fools be thinking they smart, thinking they personal experience covers the charts, and got the nerve to call somebody a mangina when you the biggest pussy out here that I can't find around. Lie down. This is a jack move. Don't try to act cool. I'm finna slap you. You know you a bitch. Don't ask if that's true. The perfect example of what crack do. Yeah.
And it's got a feature with POS, one of my favorite rappers, on the song Never Stop Running.
While running out my mind, hook, line, and sinker, keep them boots to the line. Yeah, perpetual motion, we next in the ocean of wet. Running from nothing, but running to something to flex. Hex on your house, no legs in your doubt, it's just you. And many like you, who like you, despite you, but not me. I'm not cool, I'll fight you. I'm not fun, you're like food, I'm not one to let through. Whatever you heard, I bet you stop for something. Watch me stop for nothing. Off the clock is probably not the tops unless I'm off to crush the function. Fucker, what? Best to shut the shutters, block the suckers out. Used to rep the gutters, now the urchins rep the gutter mouth. It's what I'm talking about. Looney tongue, mind is on a walkabout.
So like I said, that's probably one of my favorite Cas One albums. And it looks like Cas is here, so let's we'll let him in. We'll have a chat with him and
Take a quick break. No.
No, we're not taking a break yet. Okay, let's go. Let's jump in. Let's hop in with Cas One. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm good. You're on your lunch break?
I took lunch so that I could pick up shoes and do this.
Yeah. Can we see these shoes, or did you open them yet, or not?
I did open them. I opened them as soon as I got home. So this may interest you. Do you care about architects?
I do.
Adrian does.
I like Hunter Wasser.
Look at this.
Oh, Frank Lloyd. Yeah. Wow.
Frank Lloyd Wright. So I think I talked about the last time where I was like, New Balances are my favorite kind of shoe, and Kiss did.
Oh yeah.
A Frank Lloyd Wright.
What does that have to do with Frank Lloyd Wright?
So he designed the colors. It's like the color scheme, I guess.
Oh, one of the interiors of his houses? Isn't he way
I
dead?
think that well, he is dead, but I think that this happened a long time ago, and like, I don't know. I didn't come prepared. For, but I'm pretty sure that he like did a color scheme for New Balance like back in the day, and then that's what they went off of.
Well, it does look. What is that? What was that style that he was in? The old
Frank Lloyd Wright style.
But those are the colors of the old modern design.
Is that what it is? It might just be
they
that.
Really are. Cause look at that. Like your grandma or somebody probably had.
Your grandma.
Wallpaper that color and carpet that color.
Yeah.
It's very
What's
sherbet
wild is
on my screen. Does it look like sherbet kind of colors or not? Or is my screen?
They're kind of sherbety. They're like this color of green always reminds me of like old school Florida, Disney Florida.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And I love that.
Stucco. Painted stucco.
Yeah.
Florida painted stucco. Hey,
like
that reminds me. You're not too far from us. We got our another how's the weather looking over there? Because we're in a right here where we're at. We're in a tornado now called the tornado. What do they call it again?
I don't think
Tornado
it's real.
Alley.
I think it
No,
was
it's like tornado watch. You know?
I don't.
Oh,
know
you're
that.
under a tornado watch there?
Yeah.
It's like gorgeous here,
Oh.
which means probably in 30 minutes it's going to be hailing frogs outside.
Well, hey, listen. Any major changes in your life since the last time we had you on the show?
Yes, I am well on to completing an album. I have a title for the album.
Oh, I thought the album was done.
It's, well, it's in phases. So I'm doing it in phases. Like it's going to be based on seasons. So it's going to get a rollout based on seasons like that. Yesterday we announced like a 7-inch.
Yeah.
Which is that's just for a single, like the song a single, which is
Silver Spoons, right?
Silver Spoons, yeah. Which is like my favorite. I think that's my most accessible song that will ever come out. Maybe not ever, at least to date. And it comes out May 12th. But we announced that 7-inch in it, and it sold out in less than a day, which is,
cool.
I can't believe that.
Is that the one you did with Alexander Brown?
Yes. So Alexander Brown, and like it's like the perfect summer nostalgic sound, and he absolutely killed it. When I heard it, I was immediate. Like I heard it and finished the song within 30 minutes of hearing it, and sent it to me. Like what? So
great. What that is it like Will Smith summer?
It's like a mix between Will Smith's Summertime, but if it in the what's that Atmosphere song, the summer song?
Oh right.
Like think about those two songs.
Yeah.
But like if it was from a sad teenager.
Yeah.
It's more nostalgic than it is sad. But
when you say it's a single, is it a single that's going to end up being on this seasonal album that you're coming out with?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So this album that will be coming out, is it going to be, you say seasonally, is it going to be like a whole, what am I asking here?
I'll give you more information than I have given out so far. So there's going to be 3 songs per season. So if it's summer, it's going to go by summer, morning, afternoon, and evening. So Silver Spoons is the evening portion of the summer section of the song, and Alexander Brown did every one of the summer songs. And there's going to be some different producers on there as well, but Alexander Brown is like the one to he's going to be this season, so he's my guy. That's my guy.
That's cool.
So cool. Well, let me ask you a few questions while we have you in here real quick before we let you go, because we are going into we're doing a rewind episode of your first time visiting with us on the show.
That was my most favorite interview I've ever been a part of, easily.
Well, I'm glad that we've been able to stay in touch ever since too.
You guys are easy to love.
Well, thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in
I
June.
can't wait to see you all.
I know. Yeah, that's going to be great. And by the way, when we do see you in Denver for the Strange Fame Fest, June 17th, when we see you there, I do want to get something that in regards to you had texted me after our discussion with Mopes, and you texted me something about Mr. Ali. I want to know what that is, so you can tell me about what that is. I don't remember, but you said next time we hook up, I got to tell you this story. So I'm looking forward to hearing whatever that is.
Mopes and I went to Minneapolis together. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll have to tell me that, obviously not here, but when we're there. What I want to ask you, Dale the Funky on Lone Wolves, was that a paid feature, or do you got the hookups?
I got the hookup on that. I did not pay for him. So Figure had worked with him in the past and talked to him, and that's how that came about. I wish it was because I was super super cool, but it is pretty super. I did not. I've never paid for a feature. If I want somebody on the song, I want them on a song enough that I would pay for them.
Yeah.
On the song, it just has shooken out to where I've not paid for it.
Yeah.
People want to be on your song. as well.
Well, it's
Yeah.
weird. Like I've always thought like I'm a pretty good rapper, and it's like I've featured on a lot of people's stuff, and I'm like, man, why have I never like featured on a Lil Wayne song? How come he never reaches out to me?
Well, I don't know, but you know what? Lil Wayne rode a skateboard over at Skate Laborious, the church over here, the skateboard church
Here in St. Louis.
here in St. Louis.
So
Maybe-
we
That
might,
church
we
is
might have a
incredible.
connection there.
Yeah, maybe we do have a connection there. Maybe we can get Cas on a Lil
Be
Wayne.
like, if not, he's gonna have to change his name to Too Big Wayne. Too big
That's
for
right.
Cas One.
That's right.
I was wondering at some point over the last year, and this has nothing. I'm sorry, it has nothing to do with you, but don't you think it would have been good if he was Little John Wayne?
Little
What was
John
that?
Wayne,
Lil
yes.
John.
Or there's
love-
like a Little John and a Little Wayne.
So when they get married and hook up and have a kid, they can call him Lil John Wayne.
Little John Wayne,
That's
howdy,
pretty dope.
partner. It comes out with a little cowboy hat on.
June 17th, Strain Fame Fest. Any thoughts on that? Will that be your first?
Ooh.
Performance, or do you have something
That's
else?
my
coming
first
up?
performance in 3 years. Yeah, so 3+ years. I almost quit rap, and then I did not. I mean, my heart could never quit it, and then, but I don't like I love performing. I don't like promoting, and like,
Yeah.
I started giving way too much energy to the promotion side of things, and it just took I spent all my time doing that, and I stopped liking it, and
Yeah.
then my emotion gets wrapped up in it too. So if I do a sold out show and then the next show that I do is not as well attended, like that fucked with my ego,
Right.
and
There's
it
a
like made me feel
vulnerability
like I
there.
was I was like losing. I'm like, well, I'm like losing it. I don't know. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm putting my energy there instead of where it belongs.
Yeah.
I bet you guys remember when there used to be promoters and you didn't have to like encompass everything when you're a musician.
Yeah.
Being a musician used to be you just rapped or you just played guitar, and now you have to be like a booking agent and a promoter and do so much until you get to a certain level.
Right.
But-
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
ain't
don't
got
even
that- I'm
know
too
how do you
old.
get to that anymore.
I'm about to be 40 years old.
Yeah, you're gonna start feeling that other thing too. That's where I got caught up in. I started feeling like I watched some of my closest friends are in their 60s who are artists, and I remember watching them when they were sort of aging out. And I for like a couple of years I was like, am I fucking aging out? So depressing.
That's why I collect shoes. I'm never gonna fucking age out.
What are you gonna perform there? Like some old stuff, new stuff? I don't even know how. Do you guys even have any idea how you have that figured out yet, or?
Yeah, I don't know set times or anything like that yet, but I do know that the set that I'm making is like it's gonna be 2 songs from each era. So it's gonna be like old stuff,
cool.
and then Cas One versus Figure stuff, and then new stuff. I'm gonna debut like part of a new song there, which is the song that I'm real excited to do.
That's
Is this a summer one?
It made me cry. It like made me cry to think about. But when like the new stuff that I make is like so like it's so. I've been doing a lot of therapy, and like I think that really shows in this music. And like the song I'm doing is called Joy, and like the part of it is like I deserve joy, which is some shit that I never thought that I would say like in a song.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like a totally different vibe, and to like feel that, to genuinely feel like I deserve to be joyous. I'm like petting a cat, and I don't know if you can see all these hairs, but to really actually feel like I do just deserve joy is like a new thing in my life. And like that, I was like, I have to do at least one verse of that song.
That's great.
Is that going to be on the
Mm.
summer section?
That
of
summer
that?
portion.
Okay.
That's the afternoon portion. Yeah.
Okay.
Doy. Yeah, I'm writing that one down so I can cue my emotions to cry when we watch that.
It's not a sad song at all. It's
no,
not
but
sad.
it will just feel cool. It'll feel cool to hear, to see it now after what you've explained about it.
I wonder if sometimes in our 40s, I know you gotta go, we gotta go, but
I don't have to go. I'll take an extra long lunch.
If there becomes a time where we are just accepting of ourselves, because I noticed some things, an acceptance of our pasts and things. I don't know if it's a coming of middle age thing.
You know what would be more impressive is if you, Adrian, just became accepting of what I do.
Oh, you're an asshole.
Or accepting that you do have a rapper that lives inside of you.
Who, me?
You. Oh, he already he went down that road.
Yeah,
that's true. You don't know what's in my closet, so.
Me or all of us? No one does.
Nobody does.
Adrian's got some raps that she could write.
I don't believe that Adrian doesn't. Adrian uprooted her life in acceptance of you all. You all have done some cool stuff together.
Enabler.
She really
of all your shit.
You
so
are.
For you
I'm joking.
to say that,
I'm joking. I had these three things. And then we'll let you bounce. Anything that you can remember from your first appearance on the show that you want to mention disclaimer with now before we run the tape?
I can't remember. I can't remember if I said anything. I think that I said that I would fuck Blanche from the Golden Girls.
You did say that.
I just would like to add that I would have also have fucked Miss Piggy. I loved she was my crush as a sweet babe.
So you're not taking anything away from, you're actually adding to.
If I said it, I meant it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think.
Yeah, someone who can stand by what you say. That's a good. That's a good quality. Are there? I have my two favorite moments that everyone will see if they continue watching after into the rewind is obviously your reaction to oysters. I fucking love that. I laughed so hard.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was great. Just how
you sent me oysters.
Yeah, I did send you.
Yeah, explaining that to my wife was interesting.
Yeah, that and then your Freddy Krueger story at school. Those are my two favorite things from this episode that people are going to be watching. Before you go, don't pee now. Right now, if I show you a picture of Freddy. I want two things from you. We'll do one Sophie's Choice, a new Sophie's Choice for you, and then because I have these three things actually. Sharing music is one of my favorite love languages. That's a new segment we added to our show. Whose music are you excited to share with others?
Bon Iver, easy. But don't. If I show you Bon Iver, don't come back to me that you don't get it, because I will give you homework on how you will eventually get it.
Yeah.
I can't tolerate somebody saying that they don't like Bon Iver. 22
so
a million.
You have had an experience where someone's told you they don't get it?
I definitely have. Wow. And I've been like, please listen to it more than once. First time I heard 22 a million, I didn't like it. And it would have been detrimental to my life if I didn't go back and listen to it. And then it's just a challenging album to get immediately. So. Oh,
I love everything he does. I'm just surprised to hear that anyone wouldn't get it. Here's your Sophie's Choice.
It's crazy.
Before you go. Oh yeah. Okay. Full chest tattoo. You have to get a full chest tattoo to save the world. Okay. Here are the two choices. You only get two choices. A tattoo of a kiss casket or one Hershey's Kiss.
I would get one. You said a kiss Like the band Kiss.
Yeah, because you know that they have they have a casket. What's the leader? The Gene Cinnamons. They have a Kiss casket.
Oh yeah, they're a merchandising powerhouse.
Yeah.
I would get a Hershey's Kiss rather than to be associated with like the 1970s version of Juggalos. I can't believe that hasn't like eaten away some of their facial tissue.
I'm sure. Have you seen Gene's face when he's not? Well, I shouldn't talk to it.
Yeah, Gene Simmons is a. Yeesh.
Well, I think a kiss would actually be a pretty cool tattoo. A Hershey's Kiss. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Drawing
and
the
then
Hershey Kiss.
I want an FMK from you. You get to decide if it's fuck, marry, kill or fight, marry, kiss. Okay. Here are your 3 options: Jake the Snake Roberts, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Jillian Jacobs. Those are your 3.
Who's Jillian Jacobs?
She plays Britta in that TV show, The Community.
You said fight, marry, kiss?
Yeah. Or fuck, marry, kill, or fight, marry, kiss. Of course, Jake Gyllenhaal's a pretty handsome individual, too.
Yeah, I would fuck Jake Gyllenhaal. Marry Jake the Snake Roberts, because I feel like I have, probably the most in common with him. And then I would have to... So if I do FM, it's got to be, I got to kill her.
Yeah. Well, you don't even know her, so...
She's already dead to me, so it's not going to be too hard to kill her. I don't know who she is.
Well...
I'm very comfortable with my sexuality as well.
That's right. Though I would have wanted to fight Jake the Snake Roberts.
You would?
Only because he's a professional wrestler.
You would have lost that fight. Maybe.
Yeah.
But that would have been an honor.
What if you broke your neck?
Well, those are your 3. Those are your 3 that I wanted to...
He smoked crack on Beyond the Mat.
He did. Yeah, that's a great documentary.
That was heartbreaking.
It was.
It is.
It was really sad.
I watch any sports documentary.
Hey, did you have a question for him?
Yes.
Yes, for you both.
Yes.
Are you all gonna go to Meow Wolf when we're in Denver?
Oh, is that in Denver? I thought it was in Santa Fe.
There is one. There's Santa Fe. There's Vegas, and there's Denver. So there's 3 of them.
Maybe.
Yeah, we are. Why are you going?
We're gonna go Friday.
Oh, are you?
Yes, absolutely, we're going.
And that
Yes.
Denver Art Museum's pretty amazing too.
Yeah, that is cool. Well, we're going with you to Meow Wolf.
Let's do it. Shout out to Meow Wolf. I played a show at the Santa Fe one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to talk to Sage too about doing. We want to try to do some live. Yeah, I got to talk to him about it.
I'm kind of worried that Meow Wolf will.
I was gonna ask about that because I know that Sage definitely wants you all involved.
Well, so what we were thinking about doing is setting up a little thing and like just getting a chat with everybody, like maybe during a sound check. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. I don't know exactly how that's playing out. We have a pretty good idea of what we would like to do, but I don't want to get in the way of anything. So, but I think it'd be cool since everyone will be there. Have everyone you filter through. So we were trying to think of doing something like that during sound check.
I was thinking if we were well ahead of the stage, since it's an outdoor space. So if we set up a table and then behind us you could see the stage and people were doing sound check. I don't know if that would mess with the sound, but
we'll figure it out.
I thought that might be cool.
Well,
but
yes. My son is very excited to meet you, by the way.
That's cool.
Kids love.
He's a big fan.
I should bring something for him. Does he have a favorite drawing or something? Do you know?
His favorite drawing you gave him. It was like the gamer one. With the, you know what I mean?
With the Bowser and Mario.
Yeah.
I got a new one, so I'll bring him. I have a new. Adrian, we write that down. Yeah, I got a sister piece to that piece. I will bring for him.
Very cool.
Cool.
Oh shoot.
We got to get gifts for you all too.
Oh, that's not necessary.
No, don't.
No, don't.
The thing. I gotta go. But
okay, we'll wrap. We'll wrap. I guess
you guys wrap up, and I'll just take this over here.
Okay.
So good to see you.
We're getting our mini splits fixed today. Yeah. When Adrian had to run, we're getting our air conditioning fixed today, so he just showed up.
Good luck
Well-
with all that weather.
God, no kidding. Well, it's real sunny out, so yeah, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, bad sign.
Well, now we get to see my face, and then Adrian's already gone. But it was great talking with you. We'll see you in Denver. I'm really excited for that.
I can't wait.
I'll reach out to you too, and we'll figure out, because we would probably go to Meow Wolf with you.
I would
don't
love,
know what
yeah,
flight it's there, but
I would love that.
that would be cool. All right.
When do you all head to Samoa?
Technically, when this is airing, we're in Samoa right now, but we leave this next week, Tuesday. We're going to see Bikini Kill tomorrow or Saturday in Chicago, and then we leave for Samoa.
Sick. Safe travels.
Thank you very much. Yeah, man, it's great talking with you. And then we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Thanks for popping in with us.
Thank you.
All right, man.
All right. Peace.
DOD45. Well, one thing I wanted to say, I worry that Meow Wolf will ruin other art exhibits for me in the future. So I've been hesitant to go to one because I think it's just so over the top. I think these are on backwards.
But that'll be cool to go with Cass.
That would be cool.
Well, Cass, what is there anything else?
No.
Thanks,
already
Cass.
gone.
Here you go, everybody. We're gonna roll. This is Cas One's first visit with us. The episode premiered June 13th, 2021. So almost 2 years ago was the first time we met Cas One. And enjoy this rewind episode. I thought I was going to try to edit it, but I don't know if I'm going to have time.
No, just leave it.
I'll just play it as the way that it premiered. Enjoy. DOD45. Welcome to DOD45, and thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I'm excited to be. I'm probably more excited for this because I get something at the end of this. I get to see, you know what I mean? It's not just me giving the whole time.
Before we get started in the drawing, let me ask, how are you? How have things been for you?
I'm crazy, man. Like, this year has been a crazy year. I'm pulling from it though, but I feel mostly happy.
Was lockdown a difficult thing for you? I mean, you have kids, right? How many kids do you have?
So I have 3 kids. Yeah, lockdown has been real difficult, but it's because like this last year I started a new job, I quit touring, I bought a new house, we experienced a pandemic, and I have a brand new 4-month-old daughter. So it's like every stressor in life, I was like, yeah, let's just pile it on during the pandemic.
You went all in.
I'm not mad about it though. Like now I feel like, this didn't kill me.
Are you seeing light at the end of the tunnel then with this whole thing?
I definitely am. Yeah, for sure. Like, and I'm starting to get back into like my creative mode. For a while, I didn't feel creative at all. I was like, do I even have anything else to say?
I am discovering that. I just was talking about that with Chesky about like I couldn't find any creativity because it was the future looked so dark at the time. There was nothing immediate, so I had nothing to really like pull from. I mean, after a while, it gets a little old pulling all from your past as you get older.
Interesting enough is like that is where I'm finding a lot of inspiration, because like I've always been like a product of my past, but now I'm like I never really like went to my past to like speak on it, and like the pandemic is a good time of learning about your traumas that have shaped you in your life, and it's like there's something to that, and I think that I don't necessarily think I had a super traumatic childhood, but there's definitely some things that I think that we all relate to there. We trauma bond, especially in music.
And so as far as music hustles or anything, did you do anything during the pandemic or have to come up with any sort of new hustles while you were?
Yeah, like I started working on a project with a couple of producers. A guy, Equilibrium. I don't know if you've heard him, but he does stuff with this guy Intuition, who is like an incredible writer. But he is one of my most favorite producers ever. I listen to more instrumental hip hop than I do like anything else. And he's like one of the guys that I've always been interested in. Him and Kid Called Computer, and then of the Strange Famous bunch, work with Prolific.
You're saying that's who you're starting to do some projects with?
Yeah, starting to work on some music with them. So
all right, well, we're gonna get some drawing done. I'm happy to hear that you're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. I think most of us are anyway.
How has that been for you all's nomad adventure?
We've been locked away since March 2020. The silver lining is I was able to finish building my gallery. So I built my gallery out of a pre-Civil War 1851 home. Me and my wife did all the work. So
you have not been lazy?
No, God, no. I can't. I am not able to do that anyway.
I feel you.
All right, I'm gonna get this timer started. I'll set it for 45 minutes, and technically, I'm supposed to get this drawing done and the conversation done in 45 minutes. But I'm gonna do a drawing of a rabbit named Wolf, based on Cas's song from his album "The Monster and the Wishing Well." All right, I'll set the timer. And then we'll start, and it's a legit old school timer. That's how I roll.
That's the real deal.
Yeah. All right. So in my last discussion with Chesky, he had brought up Aquemini, and it just reminded me to break out my old my Outcast tapes and listen through them. And I was reminded just like how much they blew my head up, especially some of the earlier ones. So I wanted to start off with this Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music, AT-Aliens, and Aquemini, FMK.
Oh my God. This is the best way to start this off. I would fuck AT-Aliens. I would marry Aquemini, and this is going to get me so shit talked, but I would kill Southern Playalistic.
What was the first album that you
AT-Aliens?
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, because I remember buying the Southern Playalistic tape when I was out walking in Chicago, and I was like 13 years old, and I was just out by myself. I remember grabbing that tape, and I was just like, what the?
I heard that the Elevator song, and I was like, I didn't know that music could make me feel this way.
The problem with the FMK is you do have to kill somebody. So.
Yeah, but it's like I killed them at the start of it, and we wouldn't even have got where we got.
That's true. Yeah,
that's a bad answer. I would have married them before the fame. How about that?
There you go.
I would have been a loyal husband.
Do you remember who your first real intro to rap music was?
Yeah, it was MC Hammer. MC Hammer was like it for me. I remember I got his, like, I loved it. It was like, can't touch this. And like when I was a kid, it was a big deal. It was like that and The Simpsons were a big deal. And I remember I got a Bart Simpson shirt, and he was like leaned up against a Corvette. But it was like, it was horrible because it was Bart Simpson in blackface.
Oh, shit.
And it was like, it said, can't touch this.
Oh,
but like, to me then, I was like, all right, this is like legitimately what I want my life to be. It's just like rap music. And I got an MC Hammer tape, and it was still in like the my grandma got this for me as well. So she probably stole it. It was in like the security package, like that big plastic like handle thing. It was still in that, and I had to figure out how to open that up.
That's cool. I forget because unfortunately, I used to steal tapes all the time from Sam Goody's or wherever, but I'm trying to remember how you get that.
Well, I did it with hedge trimmers.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was probably not the right way.
You mean like the big, large?
Like the large, like wedging them in there and chopping it. But hey, man, it was for MC Hammer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was.
Did you have the pants and everything?
I didn't have the pants. No, I didn't go all in. I don't even think that we had those pants available to us. See, I grew up in Henderson, Kentucky, which is like, you don't get Hammer pants in Henderson, Kentucky. You get learning that MC Hammer was like funded by the Crips and all, like later in life is mind blowing to me. Like, he put a hit out on MC Search. Dude, I didn't know any of this. So I'm like going through all of these like older podcasts and learning so much about, like, because, I didn't know shit about the era of hip hop. I just knew, the hits.
You know, one of my favorite things about doing this new show of mine is just there's so much stuff I didn't really know anything about.
You know who's a wealth of knowledge on stuff like that?
Who's that?
Chesky.
That's why I was talking about, because that's who my last interview was with, and he kept talking about the good life and everything, and I didn't know any of that was going down. I really only knew about NWA, so I was rocking gangster rap all the time. I didn't even know anything about this other music, and yeah, I was getting a lot of goosebumps in my discussion with Chesky. It was really awesome. So I don't really know exactly how indie labels work, so I don't know if this is the proper term for it, but I was wondering, when did you sign with Strange Famous?
There's not like a crazy contract to sign or anything like that, but just before my last album, the Cas One versus Figure, So Our Egos Don't Kill Us, that's the first official release with them.
I am a time bomb wide to a brain, throat cut, choking on the sound of my name. No pain, no gain of income. Wow.
I mean, was that pretty exciting for you?
It was real exciting, because like Sage was like my introduction to like knowing that you could feel in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, that was really big for me. Coming up, because I always like gravitated toward like the sadder hip hop songs, but like I listened to like Master P's I Miss My Homies, and like I like the sadder songs always in hip hop, but it was always about like death and whatnot. I remember thinking that was so deep, and then like hearing Sage Francis just kind of be in touch with like the like where it wasn't just songs about death, it was like songs about actual like feeling things and being like, you can do that. Like it was mind-blowing to me.
You suggested lithium to get me better again. That is, unless if we get together again, but that ain't gonna happen never again. Send my well wishes to you.
It's a lot more poetic. That's definitely why I was turned on to it. A lot more people talking about their feelings and stuff. And I find that you do that with yours as well.
That's where I kind of learned the trait to be like, hey, like, let yourself go with it, instead of like there's not a box for it anymore. It kind of came full circle where, there were other places that we could have taken that album, but to me, it felt really cathartic to release it through Strange Famous.
Who was the first person you told that you just signed that Strange Famous was releasing your?
Oh shoot, I think Chesky was the first person that I talked to about it, because at that point it was like we were doing a show together, and I had just gotten an email where Sage was like, yeah, let's release this. And yeah, it was Chesky. We were like driving to Guitar Center.
I know for myself, like it would be a moment that I'd be pretty excited about. So that was the only reason why I was kind of wondering.
Yeah, well, it was a big deal to me, because I had pitched The Monster and the Wishing Well to him before, and he was like, what's your release schedule? I didn't even know like release schedules or anything like that. I was like, now. Like I'm ready for it to come out now.
You know, on the one album, I think it's you, and I'm not sure who you're talking with. It's at the end of the song, and you're talking about how you thought you were going to be famous. Is that you talking?
Remember when we first started kicking it, and we were like just getting into that rap shit?
Word.
Like, we thought we were the greatest.
We were pretty fucking good. We were the best 15-year-olds I knew of. We were 2 years deep on some veteran shit.
And like, I thought that I was going to be famous. Like, we were going to be famous.
No, I mean, we were going to be famous. I would stone cold face tell everybody.
That's a true thing. And like when I was in high school with that guy, I was like young and very naive. And it was right when the internet was like popping off. And I talked to a guy that told me that he was in the Rough Riders training camp, right? And so he was like, send me you all's, and it was like back when I was making demos on a karaoke machine. And he had a computer that had a printer, and he would make the cover for it. It was like graffiti and all. And I remember sending it. And then this person messaged me back, and he was like, we're going to release your album on Rough Riders. And I was like, oh my God. And then we went that day and got shirts airbrushed that said that said like Casper. I was Casper then, so it was like Casper Rough Riders. Rough Riders was like incorrectly spelled.
Oh shit.
I wore that shirt to school the next day, and he was supposed to wear his, and he didn't wear his.
Oh,
so I'm like walking around. He left me hanging. I was like, I am though. Like, you guys will see. But they really got me because they also like sent me this person like sent me vinyl. It was like a drag on vinyl. And I was like, it is real. It is real.
So it was just a fishing scheme, an early fishing scheme.
Early fishing scheme.
That one's so specific too. Like that one will be hard to pull off now. Like, we're gonna sign you to Rough Riders.
What if though? Like, what if?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the best. I mean, I hate to point it out for people, but the best scam is scamming young artists or people who, because they're so excited about like, I want to get to the next level.
You just want somebody to see you, and it's like, I know you suspend all disbelief just so that you can be like, I am this thing.
It's horrible people feeding on something like that. Yeah, that one's for the gas chamber. What genre of music do you find that you usually have on?
Instrumental music is generally what I listen to. That and like how people love the Grateful Dead. That's how I feel about like Bon Iver. Like I can't get enough of that music.
I had a Sophie's Choice question lined up for you. Bon Iver or Vast Air?
Oh, well, it's definitely Bon Iver, but like Vast Air has one of the best voices in hip hop.
I agree.
It's like him and Rock. We need to put Rock and Vast Air in a group together.
Can you make that happen?
Yeah, I'll get a hold of Chesky. Probably could.
Well, is there any way you can do a Bon Iver and a Vast Air also?
Oh no, I don't think Vast Air couldn't be with Bon Iver. You just wrote a hip hop song for me though. Vast Air.
Yeah, I love Bon Iver. And my son's a musician, and he's way into him right now too, which is really fantastic. So I went through a phase. So I collect vinyl, and so Justin Vernon is he's like the pinnacle to me. So I got all of Bon Iver's records. And then I was like, well, now I will buy everything that Justin Vernon has featured on. So I have like vinyl it's nuts. Like right now I'm looking for the New Moon, the Twilight New Moon vinyl. And the only way to get it's like $300. And I'm like, no way. But the whole soundtrack's good. I haven't seen it, haven't heard it. I guess
You're not a Twilight fan?
No. My wife did read all of the books though.
Okay. Yeah, it's a hard thing to like.
Did he do a collaboration with Kanye or something?
He did a lot of collaboration with Kanye. Justin is like the reason that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is like that's like the Kanye album. I think Justin like set in during the whole production of it, and he did that, like he redid the Wood song and everything.
I know I've listened to it quite a bit. I'm one of the ones that still will throw in some
Kanye.
No, what am I to say? Never mind. I'm babbling because I hate to run my mouth on shit so
it's a gauntlet to love Kanye.
Yeah.
And I really truly love like old Kanye.
I think like you, but I really enjoy like emo hip hop. Like when you said you like instrumentals, are they beat driven instrumentals or can it just be airy?
I'll listen to like anything that like sets the mood. You know what I mean? So I like to listen to music that paints the environment.
Are you here's a question for you. Silent Bob or Bob Ross?
Oh, I really do love Bob Ross, but Silent Bob, I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. Like I love him. I love his music selections for his movies as well. And like, I just think that dude, I love him. He changed the way that people, like the way that a director interacts with fans is really beautiful how he does that.
So you've been to one of his like live comedy, I guess, shows?
No, but I have bought the DVDs of that, like The Evening with Kevin Smith.
Yeah. Well, my wife and I went and saw him in Salt Lake City at Wise Guys once, and he's really funny, and also another person, like we were chatting earlier about Sage fans being well versed in the English language. Kevin Smith is. What is your favorite Kevin Smith? Do you have a favorite Kevin Smith movie?
I do. Well, it's either going to be Mallrats or Chasing Amy, but Mallrats is it for me. That's actually like the first Kevin Smith. Well, no, I did see Clerks before. I don't think Clerks hit me the way that it does now, but Mallrats is definitely it.
Yeah, Mallrats I watch at least twice a month as my go to sleep movie, and I'll turn it on.
Yeah,
I love it. It's just his writing, everything about it's funny as hell, and I'm a huge Jason Lee fan. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. I rarely get to hear from people that say that Mallrats is one of their favorite movies.
Yeah.
Are you a Henry Rollins fan at all?
I'm not. I do like his aggression though.
Yeah, I love it. It's this charming intensity that's pretty fantastic. He has some like long form talking things very similar to Kevin Smith, and they're really funny.
He's also one of those type of people that if he didn't like you, that would feel very bad.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
and also someone who's very knowledgeable on music. I'm really charged by people when they know a lot about music. I love music so much. So, how about Chuck Taylor's or Chuck Norris?
Oh, easily Chuck Taylor's. I mean, and my friend Brian's gonna kill me for that because he's a huge Chuck Norris fan, but I'm a huge Chuck Taylor's fan.
Are you a shoe collector?
I'm very much a shoe collector.
You know how many pairs of shoes you might possibly have?
I do. I have probably about 130 pairs of shoes.
Oy, oy, oy. Yeah. What requirement does the shoe have to end up in your collection?
That it's cool. I'm not like a label whore or anything like that. It's just that like if I like it, I do like them to be rare though. I like them to be like a hard to get type thing. Yeah, I don't go with like labels or anything like that.
But it's a visual aesthetic, right?
That's it.
Do you have favorite shoe shops, or do you just get most of the stuff online, or how does that work?
There are no shoe shops in Evansville, so they're like pretty much all online. And I like Bodega a lot. I have luck on Bodega, and then Concepts. Concepts is always great for their like exclusive shoe. They do a lot of collabs, and they always put their heart into the collabs.
When you're out and about, do you try to find a shoe shop, or does that not matter? You're fine with just getting them online?
So I haven't really been out since I've really jumped into collecting them, but that's definitely going to be like on the radar. The big thing that I do now is always go to like a record store. So anywhere that I go, I always hit at least one or two record stores. You
guys have a good record store nearby?
We have a place called Atmosphere Collectibles here. That's pretty cool. It used to be this place called Hard Copies, but the pandemic hit them and they're gone.
Ah, bummer.
It's going to be like that it's going to be weird to go back out and see how many awesome places closed.
Yeah, I went in Utah, in Salt Lake City, we have a place called Ranch Records, and he has managed to survive through it. And it's fucking awesome. It's the same owner from like 1981 or something.
Wow.
Mostly he's heavily thrash and metal and punk, of course, so you can't really find anything other than that, but it's still a great shop. You know, it's the skateboard shop and the sticker shop, it's the head shop. Like it's pretty fantastic, but I'm just happy that he survived. And like you're saying, like it is kind of it will be strange to get out and about and see like who died off and who didn't. Do you, other than your shoe collection, do you have any other weird or abnormal collections?
I collect I like old vintage vinyl toys, like and like weird like ceramic pieces and stuff like that.
So do you have a huge collection of those toys or not really?
It used to be like unruly. I bought so much of that stuff, and then I had like with my current fiance, she's like, yeah, that stuff's cool. It doesn't need to be our whole entire house. So I did have to clear it out, but I definitely have some stuff that is like I'm not ever going to get rid of.
Hence the invention of storage rooms or dens or man caves, for lack of a better term.
I collect art too. I have so many.
Speaking of, what Dolly or Pardee?
Oh shit! Well, I do love Alex Party. I am part of Alex Party's T-shirt club too.
Oh, are you?
I am, but definitely Dolly. I mean,
have you got yourself a Dolly signed piece yet?
I have not. No, I have been to the Dolly Museum in Florida though. Have you ever been to that?
Yeah. Both of them, the new one and the old one, and the new one's really awesome. When was the last time you went?
Oh, it must have been 8 or 9 years ago.
Was it the new building? I guess 9 years ago would be the new building now. Yeah, that one's awesome. St. Pete's in St. Peter.
Yeah, St. Pete.
Yeah.
St. Pete's real cool. I mean, I guess the art scene's blowing up there as well.
Yep, they're very pulling in that Miami vibe down over there.
Yeah.
Isn't that where Scientology is?
I don't know.
That is. Yeah. That was the first time I ever saw like Scientologists like walking out like drones. It was real creepy because my best friend, the guy that I made the monster in the wishing well was largely made in St. Pete. Like his name's Eric Hunter, and he has a crazy story, man. Like he's won Grammys. He was Mario Winans' personal mix assistant, and he used to work at this crazy studio in St. Pete, and I got to record a lot of that stuff there for free, using stuff that I normally wouldn't have access to.
When you did something like that, or was that wasn't your first album, right?
No, there was an album called Liberation.
Distortion, because I don't think any of this was supposed to look right. Contortion, because I'm tired and stressed and I'm not in the mood to fight. But I'm not afraid, no, I'm not afraid with all the monsters parading their masquerades and full.
Is that when you get into like a studio or something where you get to play around with some tools and stuff that you wouldn't normally have? Do you find that sometimes that can be a crux as far as like you get too focused on like, oh, look at all these new toys or new things?
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, I don't give a shit about any audio piece or like, I don't care. Like that to me is like straight up the producer.
Yeah.
And like, when it comes to like mixing or mastering, my attention span is like, what else can I be doing? Because I hate this. I hate it. The patience that it takes to produce, like, I watched Figure make every single beat on the last album we made, and I was just like, how on earth does a human being do this? It's like the most meticulous. I would be like, I have this idea. He would do it in like 2 seconds, and I'm like, how?
Different wiring, because he loves that, right? I mean, that's what he loved. He would spend hours doing that.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna do something again or another thing?
I think he and I like. He sent me some stuff, but I think that he and I both discovered with the last album, it's just like, we don't need to be in business together. We need to be good friends and not like, well, maybe like 1 or 2 things we'll do, but we're not doing an album again. You know what I mean?
You stay in touch. I mean, you guys stay in touch, and
we did have a falling out, but like that dude's like my brother. It's like fighting your brother in the front yard, and then the next week you hug each other.
Or even like from afar, you can think of all the things like, oh, what drives you nuts, and then when you see each other in person, it's like
it goes away.
Those are good relationships. Do you have any? Do you have a favorite word or a least favorite word? Or
my favorite word is tap water.
Oh my god!
Isn't that weird that I had an answer for that?
Yeah.
That is a good sounding word to me.
I'm going to send you a verse from one of the last album I did. I had a verse that just said, the tap water in my father's hands.
Tempting escalates, it's the tap water in my father's hands that spans across my insides lands.
I can see why you like it. It's got a good sound to it.
There's a lot of jump off points to that.
It's good if you're not from Flint.
Oh man.
We can get deeper on that. My least favorite word is probably scallop.
Oh, well, that reminds me. Here's a question for you: oysters or Oingo Boingo?
Oh my God, I fucking hate any seafood, and I fucking hate oysters. Like it legitimately makes me mad that people would ever like, who saw oysters and was like, yeah, yep, I'm gonna fucking put that in my mouth and make a noise when I'm eating it. Because there's no like just like politely eating an oyster. It's like a sucking, it's like a slurp, and then you know that they're gonna be like afterwards. And that is the theatrics of eating an oyster.
I love that shit so much. I love when someone passionately hates something.
I passionately hate most things. If you were my friend on Facebook, you'd be like, this dude hates everything.
Is it only so it's all shellfish? So you know what uni is?
Is it tentacles?
It's sea urchin.
Oh no.
It's one of my favorites.
I have no stomach for any seafood. It like I want to, you know what I mean? Like I love watching cooking shows, and like anytime that they're doing seafood, I'm like, this is bullshit. Like why do we have to watch someone do seafood? I'm over it. I want, like, give me home cooked, like I would rather watch someone make stuffing. It's like a smell and texture thing for me. I can't fuck with, and you know, like Oingo Boingo might be the oysters of like of music.
Oh man, I won't. My friends will. I'm not a huge Oingo Boingo fan, but these guys that I grew up with when I was younger went to every Oingo Boingo concert, and I think I've been to 2 of them. But
you can't just like have that name.
I know. Maybe back. I mean, I think they were
the 80s. Yeah.
I think words like Oingo Boingo.
I've never listened to Oingo Boingo, to be honest with you.
What about Depeche Mode?
You know, I recently listened to Depeche Mode because I used to make fun of the Talking Heads, because like every like nerdy, like I love music nerds. I love like people that collect vinyl. You walk in and they make you feel inferior to them, like in a music store. I fuck with that. I like that. I don't like, you know, I just like when people know what they like.
Yeah.
Every music nerd like fucking loves the Talking Heads. They love the Talking Heads, and I used to make fun of them. And we were on vacation like 2 years ago, and my friend's wife was like, let's listen to these Talking Heads. And I was like, no, all right. And then we listened to it, and I was like, this is fucking amazing. This is like it's awesome. Like the theatrics of it, the shoulder pads that the dude, like where you'd walk out and these, I'm like, it was really good. It was really good.
Have you found that you missed out on music just based off of where you thought, oh, I should probably hate that?
That's like everything that I've ever like really ended up loving. I started out really hating it. It's same with like Bon Iver. I remember the first time I heard this, I was like, all right, falsetto. Like let's the first time I listened to Why, like the Alopecia album, I was like, this is fucking trash. And then I listened to it. That's one of my most favorite albums ever made. Now
I think I had the exact same experience with Why. The first time I ever heard him, I was like, I don't get this shit at all, but I couldn't find I found myself not turning it ever off. It's awesome.
Man, there is a verse on I think it's Mumps. There is this song on that where he raps at the end of it. It is. It's like one of the most best written things that I've ever heard in my life. And every time I hear it, I'm like, I can't fucking believe. I wish that I wrote this.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's so good. I think it's called Paper Hearts.
I'll play it right now.
And like the angular Etruscan tchotchke, my mom got me at the Met gift shop in 92.
That song, it smokes me. Like when it like the beat drops in it and he just like hits this cadence on there where I'm just like, it's perfect. It's perfect.
You were talking about how you like watching cooking shows.
Yeah.
Are you a cook?
I super am a cook. I love to grill and I love to I recently got a griddle and it's like every single night I go out. So my backyard is like heaven to me. I work super duper hard. I get home and I love cooking for my family. It makes me feel like important. It's like the thing that I can do to show that I love them. And to me, it's like, hey, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I started cooking a brisket. So that means I love you from 3 o'clock in the morning on. And that's a lot of love. So you have to like, you have to feel how much I love you because of that. But no, like I love cooking or grilling, I should say.
Hot dogs, burgers, or steaks?
Steaks, easy.
Yeah.
But I have like, I'm making hamburgers tonight. I got like a burger smasher and like what are they? The flippers? The
spatulas.
Yeah, couple of spatulas. And cooking hamburgers on that feels real good. So smash burgers all day on the griddle.
Oh man, my family's all vegan now. Cause veganish. My kids have dairy allergy, so it's just easier to just say like, "Oh, we're vegan." Well, my wife doesn't eat meat.
Yeah.
I eat fish.
Seafood, raw.
I eat lots of raw seafood.
So my fiance, her name is Tyler. She loves fish, and I want to cook her fish. I have no concept of like what if it can taste good or not. So anytime I make it, she's like, okay. She's so polite where it's like, just tell me if it's trash. And she's like, well, it could probably be cooked a little bit longer.
Yeah, my wife is the cook. She does all the cooking, and she's been vegetarian pretty much her whole life. So she can never test before. Now both my son and I will still eat meat, but we don't need to. We
yeah.
But when she'd cook meat, she could never really taste it, and so it was always.
They were chewing a lot.
It was a lot of chewing.
Well, the thing about people that are vegetarian or vegan, they're always really good cooks because they have to make the food that they like taste good. I've never had bad vegan food, never had bad vegetarian food.
Well, I can't wait to play this back for my children. No, I love it.
I'm a bad cook.
I think she's awesome, but I come from a time where if anyone's willing to feed me, I don't care if it tastes like dirt. Like I'm very appreciative of it.
Well, if you ever come through Indiana, I will. I'll try to make fish for you, but I will make you eat ribs.
No, just make them a smash burger. It's been so
yeah,
long.
okay.
I listen. I'm not against eating meat. It's been so long that I eat that when I do decide to eat it, my stomach does not enjoy me for a little while. So
I basically just kind of gave up. I was like, okay, I'm ruining all this meat. Why bother? You guys can just eat vegetarian, dairy-free food.
It's better on my weight anyway. Do you have a signature dish, or is it just anything that you're cooking on the grills?
I'm real good at making ribs. I'm very good at some ribs.
Have you fucked with the what's the company that my friend works with? The Traegers at all?
Nah, I don't I'm not mad at Traeger, but I got a Pit Boss, and it's like
the same, right?
Yeah, it's like exactly the same. So I do like pellet grills. But I definitely think that there's like the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make like a cinder block smoke pit, like real deal old school barbecue.
Yeah. If it's going to be like the all out, like when you're having everybody over for the big, what's the like exciting thing you're going to throw on that?
I love doing a brisket. For that reason. Well, not only that, but like while they're eating it, be like, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to put that on. And then
Just pointing, just reminding.
Look at what came here.
Oh,
You gotta
awesome.
look at.
So cats or dogs?
Oh man, I've always been a big cat person, but the older I get, the more I'm like, I really love dogs. So at my work, people will bring dogs all the time, and I will just like get down on the ground with them. And we decided that, you know, when my daughter, I've got a 4-month-old now, when she hits 2 years old, we're gonna get a dog, and I'm excited for it. I want to get a little mini Australian Shepherd. There's a resident at work that has one, and I fucking love it. I love it. And like if she walks by the door and tries to not like go in to visit me, this dog will like start screaming because it knows I have treats for it. So what about you guys? Are you cat or dog people?
I'm cat. I do like dogs, but we're on the road so much that dogs were really difficult to leave at home or take on the road, because we will always rescue dogs, so it was always like big. We used to have a Great Pyrenees, and it was really difficult taking them on the road. So, and cats are usually pretty simple, because you can leave them for like 17 weeks with some food, and then you get back and they're fine. Unfortunately, we got a cat that is not that way. And last time we went and did a show, we were gone for 3 days, and we came back, and she like picked every place in the house and puked every spot. Just letting us know how much she fucking hated us leaving her. I still love cats. I love animals all together. I really like looking into an animal's eyes and just pondering what the fuck is going on.
I read that cats are an exercise in permission. Like, and that like if you're a cat person, you're probably more submissive, and await that permission to be granted to you for things, which is an interesting thought.
It is interesting.
Having had dogs, like trying to be the alpha.
Yeah.
Let them know that I'm in command. That didn't work so well.
It didn't work for you.
Resonates.
Yeah, she always struggled with that. The dogs have never. Yeah, she was the one that fed them, always cleaned up all their shit.
The nurturer, right? Yeah.
She did everything for them. Like, we have this dog named CeeLo, and she did everything for him, but he hated her, and he always came to me, and I was allergic to him, so I hated petting him, but I loved him.
Was he named CeeLo after CeeLo Green?
Yeah. Both of us for a long time were big CeeLo Green fans and Goody Mob fans. And
Goody Mob's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it when they get their props.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Chesky brought him up last time I interviewed him, and I didn't hear him say it, and I wish I did, because I would have loved to go on about it with him. Did you have any TV crushes when you were a kid? Like someone on TV when you were younger that you crushed on?
Like a lot. I had fucking weird ones too. Do you remember the Golden Girls?
Yeah.
What was the horny one's name?
Oh my God.
The cute one. She was the cute.
No. You're thinking that's Betty White.
Yeah. No, she was attractive.
She always brought guys over. She was a horn dog too.
She was horny.
You were crushing on her?
I don't know what it was. I still to this day love a silk robe because of her.
Yeah, she always rocked the silk robe.
She was like a big crush for me. Rosie O'Donnell was a crush for me.
Oh, yeah, you went out there for crushes.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I was thinking you were gonna say Winnie.
I crushed hard on Winnie and Soleil Moonfry.
Punky Brewster.
Yeah. Christina Applegate on Married with Children.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell was a weird one.
That is a weird one, but fun.
I think it was because she was Betty in the Flintstones. I liked that, and I was like, she's not. I always liked really nice women as well. Like it was, I felt attracted to people that portrayed nice people. Not
crush wise, but you like nice people. You prefer the nice people.
Yeah. I like assertive, nice people. Like my my fiance, she's extremely nice, but she's like, you cannot fuck with her. Like there's nobody, she doesn't need anyone's attention. She doesn't need acceptance from anybody. And like, to me, that's extremely attractive.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you mentioned Flintstones. How about Fred Flintstone or Fred Krueger?
Oh, definitely. Fred Krueger. I remember thinking that Fred Flintstone was just like an asshole when I was a kid.
He was an asshole.
He was. He's always yelling at Barney. Barney is like a good dude. He's a good dude.
Do you have any experiences with Freddy Krueger?
I have an experience where when I was a young boy, it was first grade. We had a bathroom in our classroom, and I had recently like discovered who Freddy Krueger was because my cousin played the movie. I didn't even see the movie. I just heard the song. And to me, I was like, I don't fuck with children singing at all. I never need to see that. And I knew about the claw. So in the bathroom, there was this like brown crayon that was just like a swipe of a crayon. And to me, I was like, that is Freddy Krueger's hand, and I will never go into that bathroom. So every single day, and I am not joking, every single day I would sit and I would have to pee, and I would hold it for so long, and then at some point I would be like, I'm doing it, and then I would pee right there in my chair every day. Oh, every single day, and then. There's a school picture of me like wearing like acid wash jeans, and I'm standing in the front and I have literal piss the whole length of my leg. So I don't know if like teachers didn't realize that I was peeing on myself because of the acid wash jeans. But I remember that it was like as an adult, like looking back, I'm like, how on earth did no one like catch this? Like it takes one piss of a chair because there had to be some residue.
You're saying not like just a little bit of pee came out like you.
Bro, I emptied the bladder. I did. And then I remember one day, so like my dad is like an extreme, like old school dude my dad is not at all a nurturer. He's like very redneck, very hard man. And I remember like, he worked thirds as a coal miner. And so like one day I get home from school and I see that he's there and I'm like, shit, and I have piss in my pants and I was like, oh no. So I was sitting like on the couch and I'm like with my head down, and he walks up and he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I had an accident. And I started crying, and like to this day, the memory of my dad is him like hugging me and being like, the exact words is, you didn't aim to, and he took me to go get Dairy Queen.
Oh, well, that's an awesome move.
Yeah, that was a good move.
Not saying anything necessarily about your dad, but is that something that you would have assumed probably he would be the type to not do that?
Not at all. No, he was not like that. And not to say my dad's not like a bad man.
No, yeah, that's why I meant. But yeah, sometimes some people you just wouldn't think that would be a move they do. But yeah, people have hearts. That's good. Yeah, that's awesome. I have a heart. I don't mean to laugh so hard at that.
No, it's real. That's real.
It's fucked up. Like that's a really sad thing that was happening. And you're so right about. There's a lot of not paying attention teachers there. Like that's something you should definitely notice.
I never have ever had one teacher that made me feel seen in school. Not one that like ever like reached out and made me feel like, like they cared about anything that happened in my life, period.
Yeah, that's a total bummer.
Learning that that was people's experience mostly in life, that they did have that. At least one teacher was a mind fuck to me. I was like, really? Like, I didn't know people like sought out relief, but also I always kind of rejected that as well. I was just like, yeah, school was bullshit to me. I was going to be famous.
Did you have any epiphanies or changed perspectives about your dad after having your own of children of your own? And what were those if you did?
Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, I've got a really weird relationship with my dad where like for years and years I did not fuck with him at all because like I felt like when I was a teenager, like I felt very abandoned by him because he like upped and moved to Alabama, and then I was stuck with my mom. I like lived at my mom's house, and like I think that my dad also felt abandoned by me because I went and moved in with my mom. And man, like my teenage years, we won't get into it here, but it was really bad. Like I had very bad upbringing in my teenage years, where it was rough, and I felt like, you know, that for the roughest parts he was not there for it, but also I was conditioned to not feel at all, so I never ever talked to him about those times. I felt like, you know, like I had to keep anything bad. It was like a badge of honor for me to be like, that didn't hurt me. I'm still here. And like, I don't need to talk about that to anyone. I think like the older I get, the more I look at him and it's like, he did better than his parents did for him. So he thought that he did a really good job with me. And like, who's to say that he didn't? You know what I mean? Like, it's difficult. Like he was from the middle of nowhere in Kentucky, and like he did love us. He provided. We didn't go a single night without like a meal. He did good, you know?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people gain this perspective after you have your own kids, where you can separate from that relationship, and you start going like, oh well, he was also just a person that had children, and he was also dealing with his own shit if he had any. And trying to figure out how to do shit, and no one really knows exactly what you're doing. So
I think it's interesting. Like my fiance, she had like a really awesome parents. Like she's the first person in my life that I ever met, like legitimately, and had a relationship with, that had like a really good upbringing and like really strong parents that were both always really there for her. And like, she is the most well put together and I'm not just saying this to like brown nose her or anything, but she's an extremely well put together person. She's like she's meticulous, she's really well thought out, and she's really good with money, which like for me, like money is like about the now. Like I never think about the future with it. So she's that balance in me. But I'm like, if my parents were like hers, would I be like her? Or it's the whole like nature versus nurture thing, to where like for a period, once I met her, I got further mad at my parents, like where I was like, well, why the fuck didn't I get that? And you know, then I have experiences with my kids where I know that I love my kids more than anything else in the world, but I also have weak moments where like sometimes I'm like, I want to like run away from you and not see you ever again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's fleeting, but at some points it's just like, I don't know how to be a parent to you. You like make me so angry that I don't understand how to have a conversation. So it's like, why are you this way?
Well, but it sounds like, did you get the tools to be able to have that introspective as it's happening, of going like, okay, I have this feeling, but it's just a feeling, it's a normal feeling. Did you get that from your wife now? I'm not your wife, sorry, your fiance.
Yeah, I think that I got a lot of my tools from my psychiatrist and my therapist. Nice. You know what I mean? So It was like, I didn't understand that like the first emotion that a person should, like, people know how to navigate their emotions. And I remember feeling like I was standing in the middle of like a highway where like all of the cars would be like the emotions just like hitting me. And then at some point I was able, and I'm not saying that I do this every time now, but now after I got a divorce, it was like, all right, there's something wrong with me in the way that I like deal with my feelings or deal with the person that I love, to not let them know that I love them. You know what I mean? Like, you can say it a million times, but action is everything. And at some point, something clicked with me to where I was still standing in the middle of traffic, but I was like directing the traffic in like the right lanes.
Was therapy something new that you had done after, or was that something that was part of your life always?
It was super duper new. I remember like being in marriage counseling, and like it was suggested to me to go to a psychiatrist and get on medication. And I was like, fuck that. Like, I was very upset by it because like, not like, I never wanted to use like any kind of like medication to be better. I felt it was a really weak thing to do because like my mom was in like worked with doctors, and I only saw the manipulation that doctors had. I won't get super into that, but long story short, she was like very, very heavily addicted to opiates. And like, and that rolled over into other things. And I was like, I'll never be that. Like, I'll never, but then like realizing, man, we're all chemicals. We're all just like these chemicals that are like never the right levels in a human being. Sometimes like we either need like meditation, medication, like something to balance us out, some kind of understanding of them so that we become the person who we really are, as opposed to just like all of these fucked up chemicals making us weirdos.
Well, yeah, and even things like, so I mean, I imagine you were an advocate for therapy, but things like therapy and you know, with some proper administering of it, and with not financial as far as like drugs go, we don't necessarily have all of the tools to navigate life as it is right now. So things like having therapy and like those things are just an extra tool like to help you survive through this thing we call life, I think.
I read this like really simple like thought that it was meant as a joke, but it like sent me on this spiral where someone had said like, hey, we could have just like been eating fruit and making art, but then we fucked it up and we're paying taxes and fighting medical debt. And it's like, it's so real. You know what I mean? Like we live in this, and you know, just to like condense it down, it feels like that's such an easy thing to say, but like it's so complex and how fucked up we have all made our lives, and like what we all have to contribute to not appear crazy. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like everywhere is just chaos, and it's just like how you manage it.
And every new thing we come up with is just one of those things to try to manage.
It is.
Do you watch TV?
I watch less TV now. Like I used to always have a TV in my bedroom, and now I only have TV in one room in my house. And like, you know, probably I used to watch like every single night, but now maybe 1 to 2 nights a week, we'll watch a show together. I do play video games though.
What do you do? Netflix at all?
I do Netflix.
I guess what I'm driving at is I was wondering what was the last show that you watched that you...
I started watching Howson, and the only reason why I started watching it is because I found out he's from Evansville, Indiana.
Oh, is it filmed there too, or?
I don't think it. No, I think that. I mean, maybe that house at the beginning was from here. It looks like something that could be, but I think mostly it's like New York and whatnot.
It's always awesome watching a show that is about or references things that where you're from, or
it's super cool.
I think that's the same thing with This Is My Circle. I wasn't actually going there, but like for me, like hip hop music and music in general, there's something about hearing somebody saying something that you can relate to that is really moving.
Where are you from originally?
I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, and raised mostly there. But I'm biracial, so I'm half Samoan, and I always just felt out of place in Salt Lake City. But it's like my favorite place. I still keep my home there, and so we still spend a lot of our time there. I love it there a lot. But
I love Salt Lake City. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of Salt Lake City is that I was on tour with Bodie, Sadistic, Christoph Crane, and Idea.
This one's for the vices, the advice I never took. Those stairways I mistook for pages in my notebook. Those old cold looks to grab a hold of so and shook. Hold my head up while I hold your hand to write my book.
And that was like my first experience going to Salt Lake City, and that we played at this venue where like the stage was the front of the place, and it was a glass window where people like on the street could see like in. Yeah, and the bar was in the back. So I remember that, but there was this band there, and this band was fucking awesome. They were fucking awesome. But the bassist of this band had the wildest feet. And like while he would play, his feet were wiggling. So for the rest of this tour, Idea was like a bad comedian, like wherever he went, like he was a magician, and he told shitty fucking jokes that were so funny to me. Like it was just like this deadpan thing where he's like, and you're like, anybody else it would be horrible from, but it's Idea. So it was like he would do this impression of this dude from Salt Lake City, and it was Salt Lake City bassist guy. And everywhere we went, it was wiggly legs, and that's exactly what I think of. They were really fucking good. I'm not making fun of the band. That dude's legs were wonderful. So like who's like the artist or like the movie star from like Salt Lake City that everybody's like blank is from here?
Roseanne
Barr was born and raised in Salt Lake City.
Do you want to know some synchronicity? Roseanne, that show, the house for that show is from Evansville, Indiana. Like yeah.
Is Evansville is a pretty small town, I take it?
Yeah, it's growing, but we're the third largest city in Indiana, which makes it sound bigger than what it is. But no, it's like it's still got like the good home feel as well as like, you know, a growing city feel.
What took you there from Kentucky?
So like it's literally like a 10-minute drive. It's a bridge over. So it was just like, you know, if you weren't working in cornfields, then you came over to Evansville.
Because I Googled where you are. You're like 4 hours from us right now.
Oh, where are you all at right now?
So I built my gallery and bought some spots in Hannibal, Missouri.
Well, I want to come to you. I would love to go and see your gallery.
I built an Airbnb. So right behind me there, that's a loft up above my gallery. So I built it's a full apartment up there. So when my collectors come into town, or when anyone comes into town to see my work, they can stay for the whole weekend.
Are you close to St. Louis at all?
We're about an hour and a half north of St. Louis.
My fiance went to school in St. Louis. We'll go and take trips up there.
Yeah, you're welcome here anytime. We got a lot of space. They're giving away homes here. So when we first started traveling and getting out and about, we used to always have to travel from Salt Lake City to everywhere. I'm mostly in the Midwest and down south. That's where most of my collectors are. So that drive was always awful. And then we found out there's a bunch of artists that live in this small town in Hannibal. And we get tourism because it's Mark Twain's boyhood town, and it's right on the Mississippi. But they're giving away homes out here, so I started buying homes over here right next to each other. And
that's tight. So, are you a landlord?
Nope. I just buy them to turn into Airbnbs because my idea is I want to bring. I have collectors all over the world, you know, so I want them to be able to bring them here and have whole events with them. Hannibal's one of those small towns, you know. It's definitely the kind of it's not city life, and it's small town America, so that takes getting used to for a lot of people.
Adrian, where are you from originally?
Same, Salt Lake.
Gotcha. Did you all meet in Salt Lake, or how did you all meet?
I was like Well, yeah, we met. I worked at Zoomies at the mall, and he came in and harassed me for a couple years, and then finally we hooked up. So it's kind of a bore.
Dude, a couple years though.
Yeah.
I mean, when he first met me, I was 15, had braces. It was a cute little kind of skater girl, but not quite old enough.
Gotcha. Oh, hey, I'm glad that this story didn't end in a different type of way and I found out some shit.
I mean, I'm only 3 years older than her, but yeah, she was very cute, but it was still very young for me.
So fast forward a couple years, and then he caught my eye.
Yeah, We've been together since 1993, man.
No, not 93.
Oh, I'm sorry. I graduated in 95. We've been together since 90...
Like late 97, 98.
97, but that's still...
Very cool.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah, we are.
I'm 37 years old.
That feels very young to me now.
Does it? Well, I'll tell you, you look better than me. That's wild.
Well, thank you. That's my Pacific Islander roots, though. I always tell people it's because I'm Samoan. We tend to look
You both look
Samoan, right? Is that how you say
the
it?
A's very the ah sound.
There's this pizza place right by me where the owner of it, everybody notoriously thinks this guy is an asshole, but he's not. He's a super fucking cool dude. And he went to the Samoan Islands. And I'm like, you went and taught in the Samoan Islands? He said, Samoan Islands. And he's like, he said that like the people there really make you know like how like in America people just they take family for granted, and there it's like a total like, you know, family's everything to them. Like if they didn't have anything, and he was like, and that's not a rare trait in people there. It's like that is the 100% culture of it.
It's 100%.
You know the saying, it takes a village.
Yeah.
That is, the village really does raise the children. And
very much so. My grandma
together.
used to. I remember when we first had our kids, my wife was worried that my grandma was going to try to breastfeed them because it's very normal thing. Like my grandma had 13 kids, so by the time my dad's the oldest, but like when he was in his late 30s, already a family, my grandma was still having little kids, so she would breastfeed her older kids' kids. And
dude, Tyler's mom, she was like, I used to breastfeed my neighbor's kids, and then her neighbor would breastfeed her kids, and I was like, what? Like that is mind-blowing to me.
It's a very probably a very cool thing, but in my personal choice, it's very uncomfortable. Like I don't
that's uncomfortable.
Not a part of Western culture.
I also found out males can breastfeed.
I have you remember my friend I was talking about before, who's the book guy?
Yeah.
He would put his kids on his nipple. and he was the first one that told me, he's like, the purpose for male nipples was to
for milking,
pacify
them.
Dude, I want to be able to milk just so that I can get like photos of it that I can use for when they're in high school and be like, hey, like you need to watch how you're talking to me because we're going to bring these out.
This shit is ending up on your Twitter feed.
This is going on your Twitter.
I don't think males can actually produce liquid, can they?
I don't know.
I think that I don't want to be wrong about this, but I think that there's ways that you can do it where like in certain scenarios, men have been like forced to be to be like if the mom passes away in like tribes or something like that.
Yeah, we have in the communities in Samoa. There's I won't say the term because I think it's now is probably a term that's not being used, but it's the Samoan word for it. But I won't say it just in case it's something. You know, I don't know what words are good, but I'm willing to not try them if it's not right. Offensive is what I mean, because I'm definitely not want to offend anybody. But they're men who are like women. I have several uncles that I call auntie, and they're there to help the women raise the children.
Like transgender.
Yeah, kind of like yeah.
And that's just like that's never been looked at. Like, do they it's just part of the culture, and it's not like a weird thing. That's fucking tight, man.
But yeah, it's it's something I've known my whole life. So anytime anyone had anything to say about like, you know, just that dumb shit that you would say growing up, I'd be like, yeah, you met my auntie. She could kick the shit out of any of you. So that whole thing about people talking about like, oh, gay is a weak thing, you know, back in the day, I'd be like, you guys, you have no idea.
You have no idea.
Not only that, your sis aunties could kill anybody.
That's true. My actual aunties could kill anybody too.
Man, I got in a fight with. I'm not like a fighter by any means, but I got punched in the chest by a very large Samoan man one time. And I swear to God, this is a true story. I got punched. He hit me so hard that I ran away and cried. And I was 18 years old. I cried.
I need to laugh at that.
But also the next, like, I see him still. And I am still afraid of him. But he's been nice to me before. Yeah. Like he's like apologetic on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, dude, I've never I felt like a train ran into me.
I think that's great you say that, because when I was younger, I looked up to my uncle. I watched him punch through a garage door. Literally punched a hole right through a garage door. It almost ripped his arm off when he pulled it back out, but it was pretty awesome. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Then I walked around school because he was like 6 or 7 years older than me. And anytime anyone wanted to fuck with me, I'd always say who my uncle was. And it was not happening.
It's beautiful.
Well, there you go, man. Here's your...
Dude, it's beautiful. This is amazing.
I usually, after we're done, I'll go in and I just like to put in a little more detail on some of the drawing, and then I'll get it sent to you. Oh, I know what I was going to ask.
Are you giving me this drawing?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll send this out to you. Yeah,
that's a big deal, man. That's a really big deal. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's part of my thank you to you for sitting and having a chat with me. I really enjoy having discussions with people, and especially people who do something that I look up to. And I have been listening to your albums all week here in the studio, in the gallery, just playing it. I love it, man. And I'll be honest, I heard your first album a long time ago, but I didn't really like pay like full on attention. And then after I finished my discussion with Sage Francis, my first interview for these series, I was just like, you know, he opened up my eyes to remind me that I have been kind of cheating. And my wife also said, you got to stop listening to just stuff you're used to always listening to, because I have fallen into that where I'm listening to songs that I've just listened to the same.
The older we get, they say that like we revert back to the music that we listened to when we were teenagers, because it's like the most familiar time to us. And it's like, but I do that shit too, man. I appreciate you listen. Do you have a favorite?
Well, this one I've been listening to a lot. I wish it was longer, to be honest, because it's a super short song.
The Rabbit and the Wolf?
Yeah.
I used to think my father was an asshole, until I was a father learning how that grass grows. Mama had a habit, now that bag's closed. We weave us full of thread until it makes a tightrope.
But I love it. I love. I was trying to get in the headspace, like how can I make these two relate? I really love what you did with Figure. I love that whole album.
Get on my back, get in my lap. Get on my level out that playing field. Get off the donkey, give a thoroughbred the rein.
That album, I do love that album too. Like I felt it was definitely like, it was definitely during like a really down part of my life. And then that brought me to a really good part of my life. If that that album was really easy to make. So.
Well, I do like all of your. I was gonna throw in the caveat that I'm not a great critic, but that wouldn't help my compliment to you, because I love anytime anyone puts something into their music or into anything, creating anything. I immediately am gonna love it, because I'll look at things and go like, oh, I can hear how much work that went into that.
Yeah.
And so Maybe that does make me a better critic. I just don't like to say anything's bad from anybody. But there's not one song on any of. I've got 2 albums on there, and then
that's it. That's all you need. Like the Monster and the Wishing Well and So Our Egos Don't Kill Us are like, that's all you need from me. Because the other stuff is just like cutting my teeth, and I like look back at it and I'm like, I would change a lot.
Are those hard to listen to? Some of your.
I can't listen to Liberation. Like I cannot listen to that album. That I say shit on that album too, where I'm just like, what was I thinking? Like, and then like, there's like skits where I'm like doing a gay voice because I think it's funny, and I'm like, God damn! Like,
do you have a fear? Do you have? I guess you don't, because it's not your main job. But is there any fear there of stuff that you did that's recorded on an album being out there and someone going back to it?
I used to think about that. And then like I watched that Beastie Boys documentary where like he said like I would rather be a hypocrite than like wrong the rest of my life. And that's the real shit. I mean, like, dude, we're all fucking idiots when we're kids. Like we say shit, we did shit. And it's like if I get canceled or anything from that, it's like, I don't, all right. Like, you know, I'm not scared of it. I'm not scared of like who I was. I would be scared that if like, I was still that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it was I think a lot of people's, the problem, what they do is they try to run away from that instead of just saying, yeah, man, I did some dumb, fucked up shit.
Yeah.
I'm learning from that. I think that's usually where people run into trouble, when they try to excuse it away rather than just saying, yeah, that was fucking stupid.
I mean, we're in weird times where like, I do believe in holding people accountable for the things that they had done. I 100% think that a lot of people get a lot of things that they don't deserve. Like as far as like the careers that they have.
Yeah.
But then eventually you get what you deserve. Like there's a reckoning. But I think that people are like very horny for the reckoning right now, and like taking a platform away from people that don't necessarily need their platform taken away. They need the brain space that they're in taken away, or have had that brain space taken away. Because like if we cancel someone or quote unquote, I'm not like, oh, we live in a cancel culture society or anything like that. But it's like, that is abusive to a human being, to just be like, fuck them, they're canceled, done, no voice, no apologies, whatever. It's like, that's abusive. You know what I mean? Like, because there are people that do look up to those people and then also hate the people that are canceling the person that has the voice. And it's just like, this isn't benefiting anyone.
Yeah. There's no growth in that absolute. And that's what I always tell people. The benefit of growing up biracial is that you're always looking from the outside. You always are able to empathize. Oh, I know what that feels like to be that way, so I would never treat someone that way.
Yeah. I mean, we're all from these like small, like no matter where you're from, you're from a small social circle where they're going to have a fucked up idea about something, and you're going to have that fucked up idea until you get enlightened about it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I like growing up, like thinking of a trans person, the only identification I had with them were television shows that showed them as like prostitutes or drug users. And it's like, no, they're a fucking human being.
Yeah.
And then just like getting your mind cracked in half where you're like, hatred is a very ignorant thing to have, or just like preconceived conceptions of a human being or a genre of human being is a stupid thing to have.
Yeah, getting educated on it is fantastic. I even just on the level of like what I brought up about The Good Life, that documentary. It's called it's on Netflix. I want people to go watch it. It's called
about the like Freestyle Fellowship.
Yeah, and about how they're talking so much. They're talking about like, but when NWA was coming out, that was all people saw of Compton. Like there was no other. And that's stuck with me for life. I had a movie premiering in Hollywood years ago. I mean, back in 2001, And my producing partner, he booked the hotels and stuff, and he booked our room in Compton. And I remember being very adamantly like, "There's no fucking way we're going to stay in Compton." And he's like, "It's happening, dude." And we went, and it's just like a regular. I mean, it's just a normal,
regular place,
as with anything else. I mean, that was early on in my I was young. I think I was like 20 years old. It was my first. But that's what happened with that whole NWA. Like, we were constantly fed like, here's Compton life, here's rap music, this is all that exists is NWA. And so I was just going off what you were saying, what you would know of transgender or any of that. We've been fed. So sorry, I know I'm rambling on, but
no, you're good.
What's inspiring, I am inspired by my daughter and my son. They're activists. They're very active on things, and they're still very young, so they sometimes will end up in that kind of cancel you mode, but they're still smart about
get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, how smart people are. I love that people want things to be better for each other. On top of that, you also have to be understanding and empathetic of.
But there's also people that do 100% deserve their platform taken away from them. You know what I mean? Like Harvey Weinstein. Right? Yeah, it's just like, it's just fucking. It's trash. Like, if you are actively hurting people, you actively deserve to have your shit taken away from you, for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you point that out too, because sometimes when I get into this discussion, it sounds a lot like I'm making excuses for it. I'm not at all. Because people like that, it's so obvious to me that they shouldn't. That one's so obvious. I tend to forget that I sound like I'm mansplaining. I guess is the term.
Some people are being fuck ups, not realizing how bad they're fucking up. You know what I mean? And they do need to be silenced, but they need to be taught. And I think that the like teachable moments are way more beautiful than cancelable moments. You know what I mean? Like, if you can teach somebody and they become a different person or have a different view from it, then good God, I mean, that's the real human experience.
That's what it seems like that we should be working towards. Very well said. Before I wrap up, I wanted to know which one of these do you more identify with, the wolf or the rabbit?
I definitely the rabbit. Like, I definitely have like wolfy thoughts, but just like, as far as like, I do feel like more of a nurturer, a carer, a snuggler than.
Did the wolf exist in you before you had the children or before any significant moment?
I think I was just a wolf then. You know.
Well, and I just fucked that up because I was going to do the halo over the one that has passed. But now they're going to both have halos because I was
you swapped the roles of those two.
I did
on
too.
Your drawing.
I know. I was going to put the halo over the wolf because the wolf is now.
Well, wolf. There's wolf packs too. I've always just like thought of the rabbit and the wolf as just like the both sides of my personality, to where it's like I identify with them both like very deeply.
All right. Before I completely wrap this, where can people? Because music's still going, right? For you.
Yeah.
Where do you prefer people to get a sense of what's coming out of you in the future?
Sage will really hate that I say to look at me on Spotify. I love Spotify. I don't necessarily like them as a business practice, but you know, but you can always look at the Strange Famous Bandcamp. That's a good play. That gives revenue to us.
Sure. Yeah. Where's the best place to keep updated of what's coming up?
Probably like I have my personal Facebook page, so I don't even fuck with my like artist page anymore, just because I've always done the best like talking to people that like my music, and I've never been the person that tries to be a mysterious figure or anything like that.
Right.
So just like my regular Facebook page, which I'm Jacob Snyder, and that's SNIDER. You can easily find me on Facebook. And Instagram is Cas_1. But yeah, I got stuff coming.
You definitely do have you been recording, or you just have stuff in plans?
man, last night when I was setting this stuff all up, I got the bug, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do some stuff. And Equilibrium, I got this beat. Man, there's a song, I'll send it to you, where it's like I'm real fucking with it now. I'll probably release it as like a single, because I just have some stuff in the pipeline. Yeah, like sooner rather than later.
Right. Well, I look forward to hearing it. Oh, I do have one other question.
Yeah.
Aside from your own, who do you think holds the best one title in their hip hop, in their name?
Oh. I would have said KRS-One, but I don't really fuck with KRS-One anymore, just because of the, like, we won't get into that. But right. How about Psalm One? I love Psalm One. She is this really, really dope MC from Chicago. So
I'll check it out. And what's great is that it sounded like you were saying Psalm One.
it's PSALM.
Yeah, Psalm One.
Yeah.
Does AC alone?
Would that identify?
Does he count as a one?
Man, if he did, he'd be the greatest.
When I used to see when I used to see his name, I always thought ACL1.
What about to you? Who's the number one? Because it's graffiti heavy.
Well, I was a one. I was Phase One for a long time when I was tagging way back in the day.
That was my first DJ's name.
Phase One?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I stole it from him. No, I'm a big fan of AWOL One, and I think it's more of just him than the one thing. But I don't know. I thought it would be fun to ask that, since you are a one nomenclature guy. I appreciate you sitting with me, man. I really do. It was awesome.
This is very fun. Very fun. The pleasure is all mine.
Well, thank you. We got some good insight too. There's some good discussion there. So, all right, everybody. That's it for this episode of DOD45. Let's thank Jacob Snyder. Snyder, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Cas One. I've been saying Cas.
CATS.
Cas One. Cas One, who is going to get a dog when his daughter turns 2 or 3 or whatever. But thanks again for joining me. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your lives and everything. Cheers.
Watch the world blow up while I pour a slow cup.
Well, there you go. Like I said, it's one of the episodes where I laughed really hard. It's kind of weird because you're not even in the whole first part of it. Actually, you're not even really in it.
Rude.
Well, because this was before we first started.
No, you always had me. So
I tried to watch it. Yeah, well, that's why I could re-edit it and that you're in there. I might try to. We'll see. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Cass is a great dude, and you can see him in Denver, Colorado on June 17th at the Strange Famous Fest,
which is free, but you do have to register for your tickets.
Any tickets, not just the VIP? Oh, okay. Because I thought it was just for the VIP tickets.
I thought it was for every ticket.
Yeah, so you do have to register for the tickets. They are free, but yeah.
The VIP you had to pay for. I paid for VIP.
Oh, okay. Sage didn't need to do that, but we wanted to anyway.
Well, maybe we can give them away.
Or something, yeah. Well, there you go. Thanks, Cas One. Thanks always to Strange Famous Records. Thanks to you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the rewind. We will do those whenever we don't have a chance to get everybody in, but we'll still make them fresh, like you saw with Cas in the first. Keep your eye out for Cas One's new album coming out. I don't know the exact day.
Increments.
Yeah,
seasonal increments.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that. He's you know what? Here, I got to do this real quick. So, DOD45.com, ArtByTai.com. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Happy drawing, happy listening. What do I say?
Happy. Murder,
Happy Gilmore.
Kill.
From all of us there, I'd like to wish you happy drawing, happy conversing, and thanks for conspiring with us. Peace.
DOD
DOD45.
Thank you for joining in on yet another episode of the DOD45 Show. Please hit the subscribe or follow button so that you never miss an episode. You can even go one step further by leaving us a review on the YouTube stream or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever it is that you stream our show from. You can find me at ArtByTai on all the socials or at ArtByTai.com. And if you'd like to follow the DOD45 Show on social media, we're at DOD45W on Instagram, or you can go over to our website at DOD45.com where you can shoot us an email, join our mailing list, and watch all of our past episodes. Consider joining us for a live chat on the YouTube premieres of episodes every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Peace.